Greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to be talking through my thought process and explaining why I am making all of the decisions that I am making in a ranked game of the finals. And this time, I'm going to be doing a guide for like the light sword specifically. So I'm running the light sword with the evasive dash, and we're gonna try and see how we do in this game. I'm also recording this not live, so I've like recorded this gameplay and I'm voicing it over afterwards. So I'm just solo queuing here as well. We have one medium and one other light. I think the light is running the... I don't know, I would have showed it up on screen a minute ago at the start of the game, but I can't actually remember off the top of my head what my teammates are running. But we have a heavy and light on our team. So one of the things you want to make sure you get done as a light, one of the main reasons for playing them right now is for the use of the gateway. That's really about the only thing they've got going for them. Like the other classes are just better. I just wanted to try and get a tutorial for the light done. Well, not a tutorial, but like a guide for the light done, because the light's like a pretty tough class and it is very fun. So I think there's probably a lot of people out there that are playing ranked with light that are maybe having some trouble. So I'm also just running the sword here. Oh yeah, what I was going to say is the gateway is one of the things you want to be running on the light right now because it's very, very valuable. Unfortunately, my teammate ended up moving the vault away from where the cash out was going to be there for some reason, even though there was a gateway like right there. I guess they just didn't see it. Or I think maybe something blew up and then the gateway wasn't aligned with the vault properly or something. But one of the things you definitely want to be trying to do as a light is get the vault into the cash out with the gateway straight away. That's just going to be a very, very good method to use, basically. And also, if I sound different, it's because I'm sick, by the way. So something else. Okay, wait, there's a fight here. So I chuck a pyro nade in there. There is a dome shield, so the dome shield hits it, but I do still end up getting some damage. And I'm super low, so I'm just chilling in the corner, right? Whenever you're low, especially if it's light, you just gotta chill in the corner somewhere and not die, because if you go back into the fight right now, literally anything is going to kill you, so you have to not do that. I get a nice hit on the heavy, I fall down, gonna try and use my dash to go back up, I fall down again, and then I try and use my dash to go back up again, just a little bit stuck down here, then I make it up. This teammate was fighting an opponent, but then they eliminated them. So that was just a team wipe there. I think my teammates did pretty well. Got a couple of hits in, but I did get a little bit stuck downstairs. I thought I would be able to pick these objects up, and then I wasn't. And then I was just testing if you could hit multiple objects with the sword at the same time, and I don't think you can, although that wasn't the best test. So yeah, just a pretty easy first fight there. Not so much went on. But what I was going to say, what was I going to say? I was talking about the gateway and how the gateway is very, very good. Yeah, but the sword is pretty decent, and if you're maybe not the best player that doesn't really have fantastic aim or something, you are gonna have quite a lot of trouble using like any other weapons for the light. Even the XP54, which is probably like the easiest weapon to use in the game right now, you know, you can still have trouble aiming with it. And so I just wanted to make a guide for the sword, because you really don't have to aim with it all that much. So it's mostly just going to come down to movement and game sense, when to attack, when to stay back, and all that kind of stuff. So I do a nice little flank right here. I'm aiming for the person that's stealing the cash out. Don't actually know where they go, but I do end up getting an elimination. And what I'm doing here is I'm just right-clicking, holding down the heavy attack. Someone goes for the cash out, and I should have just gone away here. Like, we got that cash out safe and sound, so I should have just went away and not gone back to that fight, because we had just got the cash out. Getting wiped there would not be ideal. And yet I do go back for no reason, and we get wiped. So my idea was to like take out the last enemy and then res my teammates, but they already defibbed, so I just should have tried to get out of that situation, and I didn't, and then we get wiped. So always try and... like, if you're gonna get wiped, either before you get the cash out or after you get the cash out, it's going to be more beneficial to get wiped before you get the cash out, assuming you're still actually going to get it, right? Because that way you're going to lose less cash, and I just didn't do that there, so that was my own fault. So no real need for that, but we did end up getting the first cash out, and we still are in second place. But now we're going to be heading towards the next vault, and obviously, again, in this position, you're going to want to do the next gateway. So I see an enemy team there. I do kind of want to get my gateway down still, because that way I can completely avoid the enemies while still focusing on the objective. So I tried dashing in and then dashing out. To be fair, I did get to cover, but I think like the gas and the fire killed me there, so I just die. So, you know, maybe not the smartest decision. Maybe I should have tried throwing the gateway instead, but I die, and then we do end up getting team wiped. But this is a pretty good place to get team wiped. That cash out was just put in, cash out D, so not really a massive issue. We're going to be able to respawn and just go back to that. And I guess I'll just skip to that, actually. So we've just respawned, and we're going back to cash out D. One thing to note about the gateway is while it is going to be best for, you know, putting a vault into a cash out, you can also use it for other stuff. And here I just use it to bring my heavy, who obviously has the slowest movement out of any of us, just to where we are and to where the objective is. So, you know, always a good use for that as well, just to let your teammates catch up to you and just get to the objective a little bit faster. So I do try and get a heavy attack on that heavy, and I just simply get eliminated, but my teammates are able to clean up the fight, and then I get defibbed, and now a teammate is stealing the cash out. I'm just going to destroy this dome shield with a sword. If you didn't know you could do that, now you know. So swords do actually hit, you know, dome shields and mesh shields, so if a heavy is like inside a dome shield, you got to make sure you hit the heavy and not just next to the heavy, because sometimes the sword will hit the dome shield, and since you can't attack multiple things at the same time with the sword, then you might not actually hit the heavy at all. You might just be hitting like the dome shield or the mesh shield, so do watch out for that. So there's not a whole lot of time left at cash out D. The meteor showers modifier is active, which doesn't really change a whole lot. You know, sometimes there will be some extra holes in the walls and in the roofs, but it's really not going to change a whole lot, and I think we are just going to get cash out D here. So my teammates really just cleaned up that fight. We end up getting this cash out. There's 2 minutes left in the game, and we are in first place. So now, you don't really want to open this vault. You don't really want this vault to go into a cash out. You just want to defend it. So I think I'm ready to open this vault, and I'm going to throw the gateway on it and then bring it somewhere else. I think that's going to be my idea. No, someone else marks cash out A. But I'm pretty sure I'm not going to want to put this in, right? By the way, if you evasive dash into a jump pad, I think that it happens a little bit faster, basically. So there I messed up my gateway. I was like 1 meter off the 70 meter mark. And then, you know, if you go further away than 70 meters, once you've placed 1 gateway, then the gateway disappears and you get the 2 gateways back. So that's what happened there. I really wanted to have the vault there because I wanted to make sure it didn't go into cash out A unless vault 6 went into the other cash out. So I'm pretty angry here. I'm hitting that, I don't know what that's called, slot machine? Yeah, one of those. And then there's another fight here. I'm just able to get a couple of nice picks. There is another heavy, and I'm going to be able to get them as well, all with the assist of my teammate. So we just clean up that fight. But this cash out should not have gone in here, because if another 1 minute and 15 seconds had elapsed and no vaults were put into any cash outs, we would have just won on the spot. But now, if we lose this cash out, well, we are actually still going to win, but maybe we're not going to win if we lose this cash out and get team wiped. So that's something I should have paid attention to in-game right now as well. Taking some shots from someone up on the edge there. So then I just get to cover. I see that person's AFK. I actually missed that pyro grenade. Someone is shooting at them though, so I figure that's another enemy. They're using a CL40, so I'm gonna be throwing some grenades at them, try and get some amount of damage done. Then I see someone temporarily goes for a steal, and I gotta try and stop that person from stealing, right? So that's what I go to do. I do get a team wipe there. Just 1 elimination, but the team gets wiped. Teammate is eliminated, and I'm just probably going to stay here. A heavy comes, and then I'm going to try and get some shots off, and then I try and get away, and I do get killed kind of around that corner, just because sometimes you get killed around corners in this game. So now I'm dead, all kind of on my teammates. I think as long as we get wiped, though, it still actually doesn't matter. And again, that's something I didn't realize in-game, so it's always good to look at the cash that people have and see whether or not you actually need to get this cash out, because we can just let any other team get this cash out and we'll still win. So that's something to note, because like if both my teammates died here, then we wouldn't win anymore, and that would be really bad. So I get defibbed, and now we're probably just going to finish the game by defending this a little bit more, I would say. There's just some gas around. I throw a pyro nade just because that's going to make it a little bit harder for anyone to steal, and I think the gas might have been running out soon. So I just threw the pyro grenade. Grenade as like a last little bit of defense, and then we qualify with 50,000 cash, which is quite a lot. So yeah, just like a pretty good first round with the sword. I didn't die a whole lot. Obviously, Light's like a super punishing class. It's a class that honestly just kind of sucks right now. But I did want to try and get a video for the Light out, because I haven't done one in a really long time, and I think there are still a lot of people playing ranked as a Light. So yeah, anyway, on to round 2. So it is round 2. We pop the vault open, and I'm going to be chucking a gateway on top of that. So note, whenever a vault is kind of like sideways or something, it's going to open differently. So there I didn't put the gateway on top of the vault because the vault is opening like to the left, so I put it to the left of the vault because obviously that's where it's going to come out from, right? So do just be aware of that. And this time I don't mess up the gateway or anything. The light on our team also does another gateway, so it goes through theirs, so it doesn't really matter. And then I grab this gas barrel, and then I realize that it's that gas barrel that's making all the gas happen. It's like active. It's an active barrel. But we've got the vault in the objective, and maybe I'll just skip to the next fight, which is right about here. So a teammate marks an enemy, and then I'm able to see where the enemies are. Always very, very good to mark the enemies, especially if you're not using voice chat or anything like that. I'm just yeeting some grenades, hoping I can get something done with them. You know, like fully eliminating someone with the sword's pretty tough. The sword's going to be more effective when you're kind of attacking a lot of people that are low instead of trying to like finish off a full HP heavy. Like, you can do it, but it's going to be easier to finish someone off with the sword than it is to completely take them out. So that's kind of the point of the, you know, the frags and the pyronade that I have on. And also the stun gun doesn't really do a whole lot anymore, which is why I'm not using that. So I just get a res there. Like, you know, don't try and 3v1, especially if you're a light. Just go res. And now my teammate goes to res the other teammate as well, which is very, very good. I'm expecting someone to come through here. I get a nice pyronade on that heavy. Then I'm just going to try and take this heavy out because, like, I thought my other teammate was going to res, so I thought now would be an okay time to fight. I try and throw another nade by that person's totem, so hopefully they can get a hit on that, which I do, and then I blow myself up with my own grenade. Now, I do also wipe purple, which is okay because we had another medium on, and then we just get really unlucky in that orange is also coming here and third partying. So I did do well there. I think I did just get like a full team wipe. Or maybe I only eliminated 2 purples, but there was just another team, and then that other team eliminated my other teammates as well, so we got team wipe too. So we just got third party there. Good old-fashioned third party, but it does make sense for the enemies to third party here, because obviously they can try and do that cash out, and then if they fail, they can go back to the other one, which is what we are doing right now. So we failed that last cash out, and now we're going to try and go back to this cash out. So everyone's probably going to third party this cash out as well, but it is going to be more beneficial to go to this than it would be to like try and open another vault or something, because there's obviously much more cast potential from this. So again, I'm just yeeting some frag grenades in there, yeeting some pyronades, trying to get something done with those, kind of protecting my teammate while they're resing. And also, like, you do got to watch out for mines, I think. I think a teammate just ran into a mine, actually. I thought I was going to run into it, but I didn't. So I'm having a little look around to where the enemies are. Sometimes it's okay to try and do a risky steal, and sometimes you just want to have a look around the area first before you do anything risky. So I realize we don't have a whole lot of time on the cash out here, so I realize I can't really do it because there is a person up there with a turret, and that is the team that has the cash out, so obviously they're going to be defending it. So you can't really do anything here, and then I do try and like get out that door, and I just don't, and we get team white. So very hectic fight, and obviously that would have been because there were a lot of teams there. I think Orange went to open Vault 3, but I think all of the other teams were there, and we just couldn't really do a whole lot. Like, third partying in this game is pretty frequent. It's not very uncommon. It's pretty common. So sometimes you just gotta deal with it. But in both of those situations where we got third-partied, it makes sense for us to get third-partied. I think I was coughing here or something. If I'm ever AFK in this video, it's because I was like coughing or sneezing or something like that. So that's why I would have been briefly AFK. I think I go AFK for a second or two, actually. So yeah, but I guess we can have a little look around. There's someone at Vault 4 opening it. Vault 3 has already been opened. A teammate actually has Vault 4, so they might be going to cash out C or to cash out D. This was probably a big sneeze, and now I'm back. So heading to Vault 4 here. Like, also, this, like, if you have the option to pick when you're going to go AFK, that's the ideal time to do it. Not when something is in an objective, but that's the ideal time, since no vault is in any objective yet. So you've got like lots of time there to kind of do something. Obviously, it would be better to play all the time, but you know, in that situation, like if you have to go AFK, that would be the ideal time to do it, instead of when, you know, an objective is in, like a vault is in an objective or a cash out has started or something like that. So I try and put that vault into the cash out because I would like to just get the game going, really. And also, if we fail this one, I kind of want the overtime to get started as well. Like, I want to have enough time to put a vault in for overtime to give ourselves an extra chance, if that makes sense. So I do get in, and then I do die and we get team wiped, but I think it's worth it. I think sometimes getting the vault early into the cash out is pretty good, because that means if you defend the first fight or the first few fights, everyone's going to third party at the other cash out instead of going back to that one, because the other one's going to have much more time on it, if that makes sense. So we're going to go back to the cash out we just fought at, but here, like, if the enemies defend this, we're not going to go back there, we're going to be going to the other cash out instead. So yeah, I think I missed that frag grenade, but again, you got to try and start these fights off with the nades. Because it's really going to be beneficial if you're finishing someone off that's on like half HP than it would be if you're like fighting someone that's full HP, especially with the sword, and probably just with light in general, honestly. So yeah, I mean, I think those two lights are pretty good. I think that's the second time they killed me in this match, but I just get absolutely obliterated by them. I didn't see them at all. They were cloaked, I think. Yeah, cloaking device isn't really that good anymore, but I just wasn't able to see them there. And a teammate is going to res me right now. They pick up my totem, and then I just get defibbed, which is good. So we don't have a whole lot of time left on C, but we do have to try and go for it. I can see a gateway over there. I can see a dome to my left. So I'm just having a little look around for where the enemies might be. I think I hear a heavy. Yeah, so there is a heavy there. They do see me very late on. Like, I really nearly almost got that cash out, but I do get charged and slammed. The team does get wiped, and that team is purple, but I'm also waiting for some health regen here. So I know, well, okay. So I was waiting for health regen. It didn't actually happen yet, but now I gotta defend my teammate. So you'll note there, I literally took a bullet from my teammate there. I went into the, like, trajectory of the CL40, and that allows my teammate to get the cash out. So in that situation, if it's a very last second steal that your teammate's trying to do, you gotta put yourself in front of that bullet, because we just got that cash out, even though there was another team there still, right? So you gotta protect your teammate when they're doing a last second cash out. Because if you don't, then you're going to lose the fight anyway, and if you do, then hey, maybe you'll get it. So I do coin here because I don't want to get wiped. So that's like a tactical coin. If we get wiped there, then we're not going to be qualifying, because someone has 14,000 and someone has 15,000. I don't know if 30% of 19,000 is less than 15,000, but I felt like it might have been. In fact, I think it is, but I don't know because I'm not actually doing the full maths. But if you ever think that getting wiped might make you be not in the lead, then just don't get wiped. Just coin if you can. Now, we do actually get team wiped. So if my teammates could have, which I think they might have been able to, I think it would have been valuable for them to coin, but also they might not have been able to coin, which is completely fine. But if you can coin there, you need to coin there, because right now we're in third place, meaning we have to get another cash out, otherwise we're not going to qualify. That's obviously not ideal. So what we could have done, if we didn't get wiped there and we were still in second place, is just defended the last cash out, so that overtime wouldn't have to happen. But here you can obviously, overtime does happen, so obviously now we need to go and get that cash out, because otherwise we are going to lose. So yeah, I'm probably gonna evasive dash into that. Oh, it doesn't actually work. I like skip over it, but I would have gone like flying there. I see someone stealing the cash out. I just try and get like a pyronade on that. I see a heavy back here, and I don't really love being shot from two places at once, so I just get rid of that heavy. I think they were just like a lone person right there, and that now again I'm just chucking nades in rather, and I see this person. I am able to eliminate them. I think there's probably only one pink left, but you gotta focus on resing. I got that kill because I knew I could, right? They were holding their teammate's totem, so they obviously couldn't shoot me, and I thought they might have been low because they were rushing to res. So it's okay to get picks like that, but you do gotta focus on the reses. You gotta make sure you're like 3v3ing at all times. So I'm able to get an elimination there, and then I'm going for this heavy, and I do get wiped. So I probably shouldn't have done that. I probably should have gone to res. I think in-game, I probably didn't realize that my teammates were dead, but I definitely should have gone to res there instead of just 1v1ing a heavy with a sword. That's probably not going to turn out well for you. So the way we're going to qualify this match is we're going to get really lucky, and sometimes this happens. In this situation, you want to have the cash out, because if there's only one cash out in, and there is because both of the vaults went into this cash out, everyone's going to be fighting there, which means sometimes you'll just get this. Even if you get wiped, even if like 30 seconds have gone past, sometimes you'll just get the cash out. Now obviously I do the hype symbol there because it takes 6 seconds to steal the cash out, so once the timer goes lower than 6, you know you're going to win if no one is already stealing it. So we kind of luckily qualified that match, and now we're going on to the final round. But sometimes that happens. Alright, so it is the final round, and I am going to open Vault 1. So what I should have done at the start of this round was switch my gateway out for something else, like either goo grenades or the gas grenade or something else, like maybe even sonar grenades, but I shouldn't really have stuck with the gateway, because the gateway is mainly going to be useful in the first 2 rounds and not so much in the final round, so do just be aware of that. I just completely forgot to take it off, but now that I have it on, I do try and make the most out of it. So I just quickly get the vault into the cash out, and the enemies do come for me, and I do get eliminated. The light here should probably be grabbing my totem and going to res, but maybe they have like vision on the enemy light there, so maybe they're trying to get a kill, which is, you know, kind of okay. Maybe it would have been like a risky res or something, but in general, you do want to focus on getting your teammates up instead of going to fight. So this is like a perfect example of that, but they are the medium, so, you know, it's going to be easier to res as a medium, but it's good they just went straight for the res there. I see someone stealing, and I try and make the elevator go down so that they don't get the cash out. They like maybe prevented them from stealing it, but it didn't, and then I just died there because I could not go any more left, because that was the end of the map barrier. So I just got kind of stuck there, and I wasn't able to get away from the heavy with the flamethrower. But I think it, yeah, they're not going to get this res, are they? Yeah, they try and get a nice res, but I think the enemies were like just able to see their hand, or they must have seen them drop down or something like that. So we get eliminated, and now we're going to skip to the next fight, which occurs right around here. So obviously there's not a whole lot of time left on this cash out. You really do just got to try and go for it. I've been thinking about throwing a pyro grenade somewhere, and then I realized there's really not much point. I'm just going to try and get the cash out. This is like a pretty nice position to try and do it from. A teammate is unfortunately dead. I really nearly get this steal, but, you know, 3 of them come at me and I just die. But again, in that situation, there's really not a whole lot of point in not trying to do that, because you're going to lose the first cash out anyway if you don't try that. So it's going to be much more beneficial to try and get that cash out, even if it's like extremely, extremely risky. It's going to be much, much better to try it, because there's absolutely no point in not trying it. Getting wiped here and letting them open the next vault and all that kind of stuff doesn't really matter. Like, yeah, sure, they might have a very small advantage if they're able to put it into the cash out, and maybe, you know, like set up some turrets and something and have a nice, you know, defensible position, but you gotta try and go for the cash out there. So yeah, anyway, we're respawning and we're heading to the vault. I am going backwards on the zipline, which I don't want to be doing, and I'm just heading for the vault. And with a light, also, you gotta play with your team, which I'm saying because I think I'm gonna look back at my teammates right now. No, I just know my teammates are here because I can see them. But you gotta play with your teamers light, because otherwise you're not gonna be able to do a whole lot. I don't know if I've been doing that very well in this game, actually, but we all just get wiped there. So, like, yeah, like we were playing together, but I think the enemies just played better, and we all just get wiped. So yeah, they're going to be putting the vault into the cash out, and I think what went wrong there is we were all together, and when you're all together, the flamethrower suddenly becomes, like, extra powerful, and also they have RPGs and stuff. But yeah, two mediums and a heavy, and like 2 heavies and a medium, or 3 heavies and 3 mediums. All of those are going to be very, very, very powerful. And if you've got a light on your team, you just gotta hope they know what they're doing, really. That's really what it comes down to. I myself, I'm not very good as a light. Gonna be able to do much better as a heavy or a medium, but, you know, I wanted to get a video for the light done, because I haven't done one in a while. So we see this person is low from the grenade, and I want to get the finish, because that's at least going to cost them a defibrillator. I don't, but I do get an assist on that, which is good. I want a quick way up, so I'm going to chuck the gateways instead of going all the way up the stairs, so I do that, and I am able to get up. That teammate just eliminated an opponent. I see this person going to res. I think they try and use the gateway. I think they actually forgot their teammate's totem, and that's why this stuff with the gateway is happening. I don't know where this person thought I went, but they try and do like an absolutely bizarre res, and I am able to get the elimination, and then like we just wiped the enemy team there. So I don't really know what happened. I think they got very confused because they went through the gateway so many times. I think they must have like originally dropped their teammate's totem. Their teammate's totem went through the gateway, and then they tried going through the gateway to get their teammate's totem. And then they saw me resing them, but I don't know why they thought that I would stop following them or something. Like, it's a pretty odd fight. But hey, I'll take a team wipe where I can get it. And sometimes stuff like that happens, and you just gotta make the most out of it. So I don't really have anything to defend this. You know, I don't have turrets, I don't have mines or anything like that. So all I'm doing is holding out my pyronade so that if they start coming, I'm gonna throw a pyronade on the cash out, just so it's gonna be harder for them to steal. And unfortunately, that was just like a really, really, really badly timed pyronade. I mean, I got like an elimination with it, but it's really unfortunate that it didn't go where I wanted it to go, because an enemy just walked directly in front of me the second I threw it. So it's like just super unfortunate there. But we do end up getting the cash out, so it doesn't really matter. This is also very, very good by the teammate here. Don't defib, because you're probably going to want that in the next fight, and the defibs do have pretty hefty cooldown on them. So just res normally when you can. And I'm not really worried about my teammates here. Like, even if they both die there, I think we still have lots of coins, so I'm just going straight to this next vault, and I don't really have to stay with them there because there's not much point fighting there. So I am going to go to cash out D. Gonna try and do my gateway thing, so the enemies just got wiped. Obviously, the sooner we get this vault started, the better. So just try and use the gateway. If you're playing light, just put the gateway on. There's really not a whole lot else that you can put on. Like, you know, sure, maybe glitch grenades or sonar grenades or something, but the gateway is by far the best thing for just being, like, quite snappy with the movement, especially if you're running evasive dash. Like, it pairs very, very well with that, because sometimes if you place a bad gateway, you can, like, make it up with the evasive dash and still get to where you want to go. So placing barrels by the cash out is always very good as well. We've got a gas barrel there, and we've got an explosive barrel there, so if someone comes, hopefully we can blow that up and get a good bit of damage done. Like burst damage and damage over time. And this is the last cash out, so whoever gets this is going to win, so it all comes down to this. This is the final showdown right here. So I think I see them coming. I see them up top, and I just throw a pyronade on the cash out. I see it drops down, and I do just want to be a little bit careful about how close I am to the cash out. I throw a pyronade there in case that heavy starts following me. They're not. I didn't want to go through that door because I thought that would be where the enemies were. There is an enemy here, and I am going to be taking them out. So I did kind of a nice little flank there, and we do just get a team wipe. I got 2 kills there. One was an assist, and the enemies just, I mean, the teammates must have just done pretty well to get like all of the enemies low there. So that's what I meant by what I said earlier, which was like the sword's going to be much better for getting rid of people that are already kind of low than it is for just like 1v1ing someone. So that was like a pretty good example of that. I think one enemy was low. I think both enemies were low, actually, so I was just able to take them out pretty quickly. Because with the sword, you can't linger. You can't linger at any one location for too long, because you're just going to get RPG'd, then all of a sudden you're on 10 HP, and you're just going to die to, like, the wind blowing, you know? So you really got to watch out as a light, especially your positioning, because it's so much harder to play effectively, and to be effective with than medium or heavy. And especially with the sword. But the enemies really don't have a whole lot of time here. I am just yeeting stuff into the area. I'm trying to look for the person stealing the cash out. I found them, and then I did eliminate them. And now we're simply just going to win. Because they can't get that cash out anymore. So if anyone's stealing the cash out like that, you gotta sacrifice your life and just go eliminate the person stealing the cash out. If you die, doesn't really matter, especially if you kill them. But if they don't die, then they get the cash out and they win. So you gotta go for the cash out there. You gotta eliminate the person that's stealing the cash out, rather. So yeah, like a pretty good game. I didn't play horribly. I played somewhat alright. And I don't really play light much, so I don't really like use the evasive dash much or use the sword much. I became Platinum 1 again there because I got demoted to Plat 2 at some point because I tried recording this a lot because light's pretty rough. But also you gotta hope you get good teammates in ranked in general. But yeah, there you go. I mean, just a ranked win with light, with sword, and with the evasive dash, and I've been wanting to get like a light video out for a while because it's probably been a long time since my last light video. So yeah, there you go. Thank you so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. That is going to be it for this video. If you liked it, leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Farewell.